Just let me clear my throat.
Alright.
Alright.
Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Moon and Coco are here and we are continuing Seiken Densetsu 3.
Yay!
My audio is up way too high for some reason.
That looks about right. In fact, I think I'm the one who needs to go down. I was gonna put you up a tiny bit so you're like in the middle of the yellow.
Oh, I meant more like my desktop audio. It's like, because it usually doesn't blast that hard.
Oh,
like,
okay.
And it looks like Parsec, because it got closed by a restart, was like, oh, I'm just gonna have like full volume.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Forgot to pull up the walkthrough to see where we should go next. It's been a hot minute since we've played, so I know we're in the middle of the beasts. Moon, we're gonna fight you next.
Oh, hooray! We just got over with the Halloween themed one, so. I keep trying to move as though, like, I should be able to move right now. I should not.
Alright, so we need to make our way to Mentos, which is the 3rd dot from the top of the world. Doesn't really help too much.
No, it doesn't. I think it's all the way on the left, though.
This one? This doesn't look right. No, that's for someone.
No.
Maybe it's lower? This one?
3rd dot.
That, I think
the person.
Nope, it's not.
Maybe it's the higher one then.
What's this? There we go.
Oh, right. The Moonlight City. Okay, it's not letting me move in game.
It's not?
Parsec, please.
Oh, no, that's my fault. That's my fault. I forgot to enable keyboard. There we go.
Illegal strats. Yeah, I'm free. Yes. Now I've watched Coco up.
Okay.
Yep.
Come on.
Just people.
This controller.
Controller said no. Controller says no keyboard, only controller. So it had a fit and left.
Let me restart this.
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
I just, sometimes you just gotta.
Sometimes you just gotta twitch. Alright, so walkthrough says we should be at least level 40 level 35 for this.
Oh, well, let's go get our ass kicked.
Panga, you have
I don't know where we could level up at.
I mean, we could just level up on the way, I think.
Okay.
Let's save. Let's save here.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
So, there's one comment. I've been trying to hold off saying this, but I just need to at least tell a little bit. But let's keep it between us.
Between us?
Like, so there's one comment that has popped up in every single one of the Hollow Knight streams.
Uh-huh.
And it's one of those comments that it's like, later on it's going to be very ironic. But every time you bring up the whole thing about how in Battle Block Theater, Tori kept ramming herself into saw blades, I legitimately just cackle.
I had a feeling there's going to be something like that in that game. Just the vibe, The vibe. That,
So don't tell Tori, but I'm just waiting for the point in which you guys get to the relevant bit.
This explains why you were like, can I come play with you?
I mean, honestly,
sit,
I've been wanting to come
listen,
play by
fly?
like the second stream, but I was like,
Oh no, I had a feeling, and I was like, I just wasn't sure because it was like, oh, maybe Coco's tired and wants to lay down because she was streaming ahead of us, so you know, just want to relax. But no, I could feel it, like. The fact that you've rewatched the Hollow Knight, like, between the time that we started the Hollow Knight and, like, got to the second part, you'd rewatched the stream several times. It was like, oh my.
Yes. And it's in when it was
able to quote what we were saying.
Not that, but I was gonna say, like, when it got close to, like, the time when the VODs were gonna expire and Tori still hadn't highlighted them, I was like, are they gonna highlight them? I wanna poke them, but I also don't want to be annoying.
Oh. No, that definitely was a thing where Tori just had not known. Probably just forgot. I always forget about VODs, honestly.
I just make a habit.
That's why 90% of Dark Cloud was, you know, like that.
I just make a habit out of, like, once I'm done streaming, I immediately highlight it.
It makes sense. Honey, no.
She's a furry, leave her alone.
I will not. I will shame.
Oh, fuck. Welp.
Excuse me, Mr. Death God, are you about to die?
Yep.
Well, alright!
Well, see, it does, like, the thing that's... Maybe I'm misremembering, but the thing is that in this game, it doesn't really matter that much, because, you know, once you go to the next screen, they're alive again. However,
yeah.
in the first game, it made more sense because, like, they would remain as ghosts.
Buzzing. You got to be a ghost? Did you have to fight as a ghost?
No, they just followed you around.
That reminds me of I don't know, have you ever played any of the Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest monster games?
No.
Okay, so the original Dragon Quest monsters, which I will refer to as Dragon Warrior monsters from now on because I can't stop having that brain. So Dragon Warrior monsters, you would have a team of 3 monsters that, and this is way before the Pokemon games started doing this, they would follow you around. Mm-hmm. They had their own overworld sprites. So, if you were in the field and, hold on a second.
It was just a normal one.
I told you what we were doing today. Anyway, that story, right? In Dragon Warrior Monsters, so you have them all following you around, but when one of them dies, they have a coffin that's being dragged behind you. And it's not good on your little brain as a child. It's like, oh man, that's fucked up. I don't like that. Because it's not as traumatizing because you know that you can resurrect them because it's a video game, but it's still like,
bad feels.
Dragging around a corpse.
What game would you say that you played when you were a kid that, like, gave you the most bad feels?
Oh god, I don't, bad feels in which way? That's a better question.
Like, legitimate bad feels, not just like, oh, this is sad, it made me sad, but in a way that I'm still distant from it.
Distant.
You know, like, for example, Fata Morgana is super fucking sad, but I can, for the most part, like, have this sort of, like, level of distance from it. But then, like,
I see, but
Hello Charlotte fucked me up, actually.
Okay, fucked you up games. Well, various things in Majora's Mask, like, legitimately fucked me up. Like, they're, you know, like, I was really one of those kids who bought into the idea that the moon would kill you. Like, and I thought, I was superstitious enough as a kid, because obviously not a lot of internet interaction yet. I thought that the game would actually end your save file. So my mom wanted to see what happened if you let the moon fall, and I ripped the controller out of her hands.
Oh
while
my
crying.
god!
And I was like, "No, we cannot do that. We're gonna die. Don't you see?" And she still quotes that at me
Aww.
because I was so like distraught.
Aww.
Like I was desperate
No,
not
I
to.
can,
Like,
I
have
can
that
see
happen.
that. I can. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, because like
It's.
there had never been like a precedent so devastating as like what happened in Majora's Mask that I'd played at the time. So it was like, oh god, death looms ever above us, you know.
Yeah.
And also just you get to see, because we played Majora's Mask 100%. You get to see all of the what? Oh, that's what I'm doing. I was like, why am I looking at Machine Golem? You get to see all the townsfolk kind of dealing with the inevitability of their mortality.
Yeah.
And it's distressing because I was, I believe 10 when that game came out. And it was just like, wow. Because I was a kid that, and I think this has to do with my anxiety overall, it was just like early manifestations of that, where I was like really spooky about the concept of death, and I remember crying because I understood finally that I was going to die someday, and it was like, oh fuck, I can't handle this. So I remember crying, and my parents were like, oh no, it's okay, you're fine.
No.
It's just one of those things where it's like, oh no, I'm a human being.
Yeah, like the sudden realization, where like you actually have an understanding and it all clicks into place.
Yeah, because it wasn't like anybody in my life had died yet. I think even maybe my pets were all still alive, so it was just like suddenly I finally understood what it meant, and it was like, uh-oh, the horror of being of knowing a concept, I guess. I'm trying to think of another game, because I know there's another game that kind of was like, damn, okay, Jesus. It's so hard to think, because I played so many games, too. Like, over the years. What about you, Coco? Like, aside from, obviously, Hello Charlotte that you brought up. Fran really messed me up. I don't think it was quite so, profound, like a messing up as, like, say, other things in my life, but it really hurt. Like,
yeah, like, Fran, I actually felt I handled Fran very well until I found that analysis video I showed you, that was all about how, like,
oh god.
Oh gosh, it was like, you know, during like the later stages of World War II, how Mengele and those people were taking twins, specifically twins, and doing experimentations on this. So it was all about that, and everything was just like this fucked up hallucination from all the experiments they were doing on her. That's when I was like, okay, a bit too real now.
Yeah.
But aside from that, as far as like games I played when I was a kid that really messed with me, I think I might have mentioned this before, I don't know, but Breath of Fire 3? Did you ever play that game?
Breath of Fire? No, I didn't have the system.
Wait, maybe it was 2. I think it was 2, actually.
I never got to play any of the Breath of Fire games. The only reason I know about them actually is because a DeviantArt artist used to draw fan art of it, and her name's Rena Cat. I don't know if you've ever seen her artwork.
Yeah, I have. She's the one who did the like Shigo and Kim art?
Exactly. She was very early Yuri awareness for me as well.
Same.
So like Rena Cat had drawn a bunch of Breath of Fire characters. I just don't know if they were from that specific game. I remember liking the little girl, not little girl, she was an adult probably, or a teenager. She had glasses and like these big ears, and she was in a blue outfit, kind of like how they actually have Seoff's character Carly like drawn a little bit, except for like as an adult.
I'm
trying to remember
who that is.
She's got like I think she's supposed to be like a cleric character. Like,
did she have angel wings or not?
I can't remember if there was angel wings. Let me Google really quick, just to see.
Oh,
I did that. I was trying to get like out of. out of parsec to like look at things on Google without disrupting you, and then I did it anyway. Rena Cat. It's funny that Rena Cat was so like out there, but I think she was like early 2000s artist that, you know, was just kind of everywhere. Let's see, Rena Cat, Breath of Fire. Yeah, there she is. This is that exact character. Here, I'll send you it. I don't know who she is though.
Let me see. Pull it up on my phone so I don't mess anything up. Oh, yeah, I've seen her, but she wasn't in the game that I played. She must be
Okay,
from a
so I
different
found
game.
out what this character's name is. She's named Momo, apparently. And the Catman is named Ray. This is Breath of Fire 3.
Alright, so then the one I must be thinking of is Breath of Fire 2, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Alright, so... and, like, this is one of those things that, in retrospect, I'm like, I'm really stupid. I should have just, like, restarted the game. But that game straight up gaslights you.
It what?
It straight up
What?
gaslights you. So it
Why?
I mean, this is the way it starts out. You're playing the main protagonist, who's just like this blue-haired kid, like when he's a toddler, and he's living in this like cozy little village. He has a sister, and I think a grandfather or like some priest or something that takes care of the both of them. I think it is a priest, since like you live in a church and the two of you are orphans or something like that. And one night, you know, they take in this other little boy who's like a dog person, and he convinces you at night to follow him because supposedly there's a treasure or something. I don't remember too well. This was years ago. But you go into this cave, and then it's completely dark. Like, you can't see anything except what's directly in front of you. And you're going through these, like, really narrow corridors. And then there's this one point which you see the tip of a tail, of a really sharp tail. And you just start following it, and it leads you to this, like, huge-ass monster who fucks the both of you up. And, like, there's this description of it killing you. And then you wake up, and it's years in the future, like, it's a slightly more modern town. Everyone's different. No one really recognizes you. Your sister is gone. And there's no explanation until, like, the very end of the game.
What the fuck?
Yep. I never beat that game. And, like, the entire time, I'm questioning everything, because I'm like, what the fuck was that beginning about? And I even get to the point where, like, did I imagine that beginning?
Oh my god. Oh my god. You know what? That's yeah. Psychological shit can really, like... Well, that's exactly why I think Franbo really got to me, because it's definitely, like, layers of psychological sort of twists and turns that was like, this is traumatizing just to think about a kid being in a position like this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
even with the kind of, I want to say that as far as pacing goes with Franbo, the middle section where you're in that fantasy world, tonally kind of it gives you a break, but it feels wrong for the game. I don't know how to explain it. It's not wrong for the game, but it's like the tonal shift is just so dissonant you forget that you're in the same game. Kind of.
No, I can understand what you're getting at.
Like I know what it was probably meant to serve as, because it's like Fran going further like into herself, like as far as like acknowledging things. But at the same time, it's like, damn, bro, I totally forgot that we saw like the fucking clown horse. This is the same game as the clown horse?
I think it's kind of, so the way they
I do not like the clown horse.
not exactly how it works.
Clown horse is illegal.
Clown horse likes you, though. You should sell your things.
Oh, right. Right. Hello, sir. Would you like some wares? Like just everything in here, or what?
Face plant, it won't be too bad, but it's like, it'll be like...
Goodbye,
2 seconds
Moogle.
then.
Goodbye, Cocoon suit. I'm confused. Did I not sell this? Did we have multiples? What's going on?
We might have.
We get out of the screen and Seoff is just naked.
Ah!
Ah! I sold all my clothes off my back on accident. Honestly.
It shocks me.
It probably would happen like that. I won't say this fucked me up quite the same as like what we were talking about, but Fire Emblem 7, aka the first one that came stateside, the concept of death was horrifying in that game because it was your fault, like because you didn't move the character correctly or something, and I was like, no, I keep killing Farina. She's so squishy. I hate this.
Aww.
I had to restart my save several times for that area because I was like, there's no way I'm letting people die. That makes me so sad. That's why I found it funny that apparently in the new ones, they just kind of let you rewind time. Which is like, I understand, but also, suffer as I have. Because, oh man, I was so bad at Fire Emblem when I first played it. I don't know if I would be any better as an adult, but like, I know as a kid I was not good.
I literally...
Hold on. I literally can hear my husband again. Attack, Seoff, attack. That dude just bit my head.
Illusion of Gaia didn't mess me up quite as much, but it definitely gave me that sort of, unnerved, like, I'm not really sure. Because I think it kind of did something similar to me, like what you were explaining that Majora's Mask did to you. There's just a lot of acknowledgement of mortality and horrible shit in that game.
Yeah, like, and especially, oh my god, in Majora's Mask, you get to see people cowering in their homes. Like, the mailman, Coco, have you played Majora's Mask?
I never owned it, much like Ocarina of Time, so I only ever, like, beat the Deku Palace, but I kind of know it since I didn't watch, but I listened to the Game Grumps play it.
Okay. So, like Aaron, likely you've heard Aaron talk about the mailman, where you're doing the mask, like, completion, and you have to get every mask in order to get the Fierce Deities mask. So one of them is the actual mailman's hat, and you have to visit the mailman on, like, the last day, and, like, convince him to leave, basically, in order to get him, in order to get his hat, but you have to do, obviously, a series of interconnected quests over the 3 days, and, like, but you just see, like, the whole scene is him cowering and having a crisis of faith because he's such a dedicated mailman. He's like, I can't leave, I have to deliver the mail, but this town's not gonna be here anymore, and he's, like, on the floor, on his knees, shaking back and forth, like, with his hands on his head, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, and there's several more instances of that. There's specifically, several of the townsfolk leave to go and hide at, Romani Ranch because, supposedly they think that they're going to be able to weather the moon falling on the country, at Romani Ranch because I guess they think it's far enough away from town. And, like, they're, like, when they're packing up their things and, like, getting everything ready, it's just like, oh my god, really?
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, you could be on the other side of the planet. You're not gonna survive a moon crashing into it.
No, and that's like, and I do know actually what it looks like when the moon crashes into the thing because eventually my mom did convince me to see. And, yeah, it's a really involved, cinematic where, the moon falls and everything fucking explodes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And it's like, oh god. Oh god. And then it sends you obviously back in time because you're Link and you have to survive, but, you know. Benefits of being a pro tag. Also, the thing that, makes me kind of annoyed at Nintendo, is that they've never like released a picture of Cafe as an adult. Like, and I'm annoyed. I want to see that man. I want to see who Anju marries. Like I know what he looked as a child, but that's not really good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh boy, I like that they didn't. Because I didn't remember that quest so well. But when I was watching the Grumps play, I was like, oh god, do they show like them like?
Yeah.
Like getting married with him as like a child still, because there's never like a confirmation that he did like grow back up after the curse was broken, but like the implications in the ending are that he did.
Yeah.
But they didn't make a model for him.
I mean, which is
like,
fair.
They obscure him. Yeah, that's totally fair, because this game was made in under 2 years, which it still blows my mind.
Yeah, and like making a model for that single scene, like. Eh.
Yeah, well, it was amazing that Cafe had a model at all. He was one of the few new models, of the townspeople anyway. Like, I'm pretty sure everything else was reused for townsfolk. Because the bombers even were just a reskinned kid from the normal game.
You just got that.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure every single person that was an NPC in town was reused except for Cafe. And then, obviously, the Gorons, the Deku, and the Zora all had new characters, but yeah, the townsfolk were completely reused. That was what made that game so interesting, and I think that's one of those things that first introduced me to the concept of alternate universes. Because it's not exactly like a lot of people like to call it, where it's like, oh, it's like Alice in Wonderland, because Alice in Wonderland works on entirely absurd premises because it's a child's like daydream world. But literally, Majora's Mask is totally based in reality as far as the concepts and the people behave. So like, it's not really, oh yeah, this is the Alice Through the Looking Glass equivalent of Ocarina of Time. No, the fuck, it is not. It's just Link on another fucking quest in a land with duplicates. The thing that would have been interesting is if they'd given Zelda a duplicate there.
Yeah.
They technically, so, I don't know if you have seen, I think the Grumps played a little bit of Link's Awakening. Like when the new one came out, but I can't remember. So in Link's Awakening, there's a girl named, Marin, who predates Malon, and she's supposed to be like supposed to look like Princess Zelda, at least in the original game. And it was like, why didn't they like do that? Like have a look-alike just to really fuck with you. Like, also I would have loved, frankly, a look-alike Ganondorf, but yeah, I'm a Ganondorf fan, so. I love that man. Also, I'm one of those fans that's like, yeah, Wind Waker Ganondorf is definitely right, and I don't care. I don't know if you know that whole thing.
I don't. Like, I know that Wind Waker Ganon is like supposed to be like morally more justified or something. Like I've heard people say that, but I don't know anything about Wind Waker either than zip around on a boat.
So, basically, they whoever did the writing on Wind Waker, I want them to write Ganondorf again, because they actually gave him more of a personality than just, I'm a bad guy, yay! like, I mean, obviously, Ganondorf wasn't really like that in Ocarina of Time, but, like, he had like, a whole... Basically, he was having a vent session to two children that had nothing to do with the consequences of what happened, and it's great because it's so interesting what he says, because you know it's Ganondorf. You want to know what the hell he was doing and thinking about Ocarina of Time. What the hell was that all about, dude? What the fuck? Because it's technically a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. Which is weird, things considered.
Which one? Majora or Wind Waker?
Wind Waker. Both of them are technically direct sequels. But since Nintendo decided to make it their own timeline, they take place, I think, on 2 different branches. But the timeline's not real and everything's up to interpretation. So, like, I used to be like a really big fan of the timeline theory because there was like precedents that you could connect and stuff, like, you know, really fun things like that. But it was, you know, a hobby thing, not a thing I wanted concrete. Let's say. So like when they made it concrete, they went about it in like a really specific way that was like disagreeable to my sensibilities. So it's like, Jesus, you've really fucked this one up. They should just. It also, it makes me really annoyed because all of the Zelda theorists that are men really cling tightly to the timeline and talk about it, and it's like, you guys. Stop talking about Skyward Sword. Shut the fuck up about Skyward Sword. And you can fuck about Skyward Sword. Evidence of Skyward Sword, this, that, and the other thing. Fuck off. Get out of here. Oh, there he is. I was like, where the fuck's the last guy? The bat's just like, yeah, I'm over here. I'll come in later. Attack the box.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah. Ogreman.
Oh, it's not a Kaiser
Ogre
box. Alright, so...
Aw. I'm just gonna miss every time. Whap, 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 whap. Oh, come on.
Angry!
That's literally me, though, on Twitter. I'm just angry all the time. It's lucky that I'm an adult that has the sensibility of not fucking opening my goddamn mouth on Twitter, because holy shit. Hello? What's this?
Oh, God.
Carl's grave. Who the fuck's Carl?
That is Kevin's puppy.
Oh no! How dare you! It's so evil.
How does the new grapple?
You can't pet the dog because the dog's dead.
You can pet its skeleton.
It's not really the same, is it, Coco? Also, the puppy can't respond that way, so...
Could be a zombie
nothing
puppy.
like I think then if it was a zombie, it'd have fur. What the fuck? No, so the reason why it's like, it's a good thing I don't want to fucking kill people on Twitter, like, vocally. Because I keep seeing horrible Sailor Moon takes on there.
Oh, do
And
tell.
also horrible Zelda takes. Okay.
Do tell, give us the juice.
This is a very juicy orange, let's say.
But maybe we should wait till the next episode, because...
Yeah.
We're probably gonna need a whole episode.
I mean, I can just talk about Sailor Moon for hours, so it doesn't matter if we start here or there, really.
Alright, well, you know what, folks? We will leave this episode off right here. Thank you for joining, and see you next time on Pixel Moon Rants.
Oh god. Don't open that can of worms. Unfortunate, I can rant forever.
Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse?
Your mouse has been taken.